The PlayStation 4 might be an immortal game console. We might be reaching the point where it achieves similar appreciation to the level that the PlayStation 2 did before it. We're seeing a similar cycle where history has repeated itself, with the PlayStation 5 being somewhat inaccessible pricing-wise, both for the console and the games, with people disappointed in the upgrades this generation provides over last generation. The PlayStation 4 is an incredible value even today. PS4s can be had for $100 to $200 right now, with the Slim being preferred to the base PS4 and the Pro being an even better upgrade with faster loading, higher resolution output, and higher frame rate options for often only 10 or 20 bucks more than the base consoles. I grabbed this PS4 Slim for about 170 bucks from my local mom and pop shop, but you can get it much cheaper on Facebook Marketplace or eBay or wherever you might buy stuff locally. I got it this past week and it's been a beast. The smooth, sleek, actually good-looking game console comes with a futuristic user interface, easy storage upgrades allowing you to jump to much higher storage capacities easily, USB 3 external storage options, in-game screenshotting and game recording capabilities, and HDR output for the Slim and Pro models. While in-menu advertising became much more of a thing this generation, the PS4 still feels like a gaming console built for gamers running video games, not a marketing device like newer consoles often can. I can install and run games entirely without an internet connection, which is a novelty now, and load up endless hours of experiences, both through exclusives and massive libraries of non-exclusive titles. Plus, the games are really cheap right now. The PS4 was highly regarded for its exclusives, especially since the Xbox One had a very rough start, with its overemphasis on TV, and multiple back-to-back Halo stumbles. Bloodborne took the difficult yet rewarding fantasy RPG formula that From Software had been perfecting since the PlayStation 2 days and turned it into a gothic Victorian-era setting with a new gun parry mechanic. This game is often seen as a fan favorite and has compelled gamers to plead with Sony to just do something with the game IP for a decade now, as the game has received no PS4 Pro or PS5 upgrade patch, no updates, no new release, not even the basic code tweak to unlock 60 FPS gameplay that my buddy Lance helped figure out, which is easily doable with a modded system. God of War 3 was a showpiece for the PlayStation 3, but remained hindered by the older console's capabilities. So Santa Monica ported it to the PS4 and let it render in 1080p 60 FPS with God of War 3 remastered, and the game shows wonderfully. The game is so pretty and clear in its rendering that it actually makes the overly compressed cinematics look awful by comparison. This is a great hack and slash game where you juggle enemies, build up combos, and conquer the Greek pantheon. It's just a big shame that we never got any of the other previous God of War games on the PS4, as the HD collection on PS3 with the PS2 and PSP games together was a treat, and it's still stuck on those older systems. God of War saw one more PS3 only game in Ascension, and then it got rebooted with a new sequel as God of War 2018, a slower, more talky story-focused game where Kratos is just as powerful, but living with the weight of his history and his choices. The next game, Ragnarok, is highly regarded as the best God of War entry to date. Personally, I really struggled to make it through the 2018 game's sluggish first few hours, but I'm committed to hopefully finishing it in 2026. Ratchet & Clank is a remake slash reboot of the PlayStation 2 original game that launched a pretty big franchise. All of the PS2 and PSP games still hold up in my opinion, but this PS4 exclusive gives it a fresh coat of paint and really polishes things up, while adapting the story to better align with the film that also released in 2016. The game gives you some 3D platforming, puzzle solving, collecting, some melee and shooter combat, and lots of laughs. I recently started it again to introduce it to my 5-year-old, and he's really enjoying it so far. Nioh and its sequel are Souls-likes set in historical Japan, where you leverage a variety of weapons, armor, and samurai disciplines to dodge and parry your opponents and defeat yokai plaguing the lands. This was my first Souls-like that I really clicked with, which gave me the confidence to finally go back and start getting the other Souls games. Definitely worth a play if you want samurai games or like Souls-inspired gameplay. Horizon Zero Dawn is another game, like God of War 2018, that got a little too walkie-talkie in this new quadruple A genre that I've coined lately, but it picks up and turns into a normal video game after the first hour or so. Then you're thrown into an open-world RPG full of gathering, crafting, questing, map completion, and robot dinosaur hunting. My wife and I have put 48 hours into this game this year and have been addicted, completing everything we come across. I'm not a huge fan of open world games, but this one had a really solid progression into feeling fun more and more for the first 30 hours or so, instead of feeling less fun as time went on. But we're only just starting to feel kind of bored with the formula now, so hopefully we can focus on the story soon and wrap it up. What can I say about the Uncharted games that hasn't been said already? PlayStation's We Have Tomb Raider at Home that turned into a huge franchise of awesome story and exploration games, and the PS4 is a fantastic place to play them. You get the Nathan Drake collection, giving you the first 3 games bundled together, then Uncharted 4: A Thief's End to wrap that story up, and Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, a spin-off game starring one of the other characters from the game, giving you even more story. There's a ton of game time available here. The Last Guardian started as a Shadow of the Colossus sequel, first debuting in 2009, and took another 7 years to complete before releasing on PS4 instead of PS3. A beautiful game through and through. Final Fantasy Remake reimagines the PS1 original in incredible 3D with basically a whole new game built from the original story. Medieval is another PS1 recreation, bringing one of those games that always seemed so cool to me as a young kid and provides a quirky, spooky experience with admittedly pretty frustrating combat. Gravity Rush got both remastered on PS4 and a sequel to it. The first game originally released on the PS Vita, and both games are incredibly original and unique. They have beautiful art and provide a fantastic and unique gravity-defying adventure. The comic book presentation contrasts with modern cutscene-heavy and walkie-talkie games, and the gameplay is immensely satisfying as you move around the world. Ghost of Tsushima is another samurai-focused Souls-like, but with way more energy put into a more kind of linear narrative story than something like Nioh. I'm still working through my playthrough, but it's a beautiful game. A console is more than just its exclusives, and the PS4 is no exception here. The PS4 is just such a nice console to be your one place to come home, boot up, and immerse yourself into gaming with no distractions. To be with your game and your thoughts and no news, no doom scrolling, no yelling on social media. If that sounds good to you, the games never end. Classics like Nier Automata and Kingdom Hearts will make your mind spin. Vampire Survivors and TMNT's Splintered Fate will eat up all of your time. Both of these are awesome roguelikes with very different tones. Vampire Survivors spawned its own Survivors subgenre, and Splintered Fate might be the most faithful Hades-like on the market right now. Hollow Knight Silksong is on PS4, which is pretty rad. I've come to learn I'm more of a Classicvania fan than a Metroidvania fan, but it's still a solid game so far. DMC Devil May Cry is a controversial entry in the franchise as a failed reboot attempt, but I still enjoyed it a ton for what it is and have played through the HD version on the PS4 many times now. Nexomon and Nexomon Extinction provide a pretty solid Pokemon alternative, absolutely worth checking out if you don't have a Switch or aren't interested in giving Nintendo your money. Just Cause 3 is a damn good time. The perfect session game. You cause chaos, blow stuff up, and fly around an island being an absolute menace. The series is one of my favorite casual game series of all time. Digimon World Next Order is the near-perfect modernization of the classic Digimon World games. You hatch partner Digimon, train them, and take care of them like the classic Tamagotchi competitors of old, battle them with a new real-time-ish battle system, and explore the world. It's a game that isn't always clear what you need to do, but is a lot of fun when you have the spoons to really obsess over it. Bayonetta and Vanquish got a 10th anniversary double pack released on PS4, and both games are still worth replaying, frankly, over and over today. Bayonetta is a hack-and-slash Devil May Cry-like, and Vanquish is a third-person shooter with some of the most insane movement and action you've ever seen. Both of these are some of Platinum Games' best, and anyone who hasn't given them a fair shake needs to ASAP. As amazing as the PS4 is, I do have two kind of annoying gripes about it. The first is maybe a niche thing. The PS4 does not give you manual control over your audio outputs. On the PlayStation 3, you could choose each resolution and audio format for your video and audio outputs, respectively, which allowed you control over exactly what you wanted. On the PS4, it tries to auto-detect what your display or switcher or whatever supports, and locks you out of the other options. This has led to, on many occasions, being unable to hear half of the audio from my games because it's forcing me to use surround sound on a stereo setup. Really annoying. Secondly is the controller. I've always been a huge fan of PlayStation controllers, with symmetrical thumbsticks and clearly separate bumper and trigger buttons being a big deal for me. The DualShock 4 is perfect in that layout, but it has very poor battery life, and it's still a pretty expensive controller even today. While I always wanted everything to have a rechargeable battery pack as a kid, as an adult, I really wish all controllers just took standard AA batteries so I can quickly swap rechargeable batteries and not deal with the crappy battery life of the DualShock 4s. You can upgrade or replace the battery packs in them, but that requires opening it up, and it's just this whole, it's not very sustainable. Plus, the price for them is absurd. I think 2026 will be the year of the PS4, the year everyone really starts appreciating it for the rock-solid console it was and start buying them up. I definitely recommend grabbing one while they're still cheap and accessible and the games still available at bargain bin prices. Online play is still available for a variety of multiplayer games, though the console is reaching its end-of-life status, so we will probably see games dropping support for their PS4 versions in the coming years. I'll never stop playing PlayStation 4 games like it's 2013, and I really wish console gaming still felt like this. Remember to be kind, rewind.